Hello and welcome back to the Chat OK podcast, where we discuss media in the forms of reviews and discussions. I'm your host, Dranking Thomas Hughes, and today I'm joined by my good pal, Mr. I always forget which name we're on by now, Alex.
That one's fine. Hello.
I always go to say one, and then I go, no, it's not that one. It's this one. No, it's not. It's not that one either. It's the next one. It's not that one either.
It's currently Arcadify.
Yes.
Because I'm fucking not flying here now. I've taken a step back from the bear.
So now you're
The bear
Arcadify.
kind of names.
Yes. Well,
So it's no longer the Dragon and Bear show either.
yeah, I was going to say, how's that going to work now? I've been meaning to ask you that question for like weeks now since you changed it. I was like, how's that going to work? The dragon and some dude. There we go. That's new. That's what it's called. The dragon and this guy. But yes, obviously we promised after we finished Split Fiction that we'd have a little talk and review on it. So here we are talking about Split Fiction, the hit 2025 video game that has like sold so many, like fucking millions of copies now. And it's not a surprise because it's such a good game.
It's really good.
And I think that another thing that has helped in its favour, which is obviously what they did with It Takes Two as well, was the fact that you don't have to have two people owning the game. You need one person, and then the other person, and that person then can share it with fucking multiple people whenever they want to sit down and play it across platforms as well, not just stuck to PC versus PC or Xbox and Xbox. You can go across. I mean, it sums it up. We went from PC and PC to PC and PS5 to PC and Nintendo Switch 2. That sums up the way you can do it, and I think that stuff like that is what's helped draw people in even more, because as I say, you can sit back on your Switch while I can sit there on the fucking PC, and I feel like that is a really good strategy. Cross-platform is always a good thing, because it's going to bring in so many more people playing it, because they say you go, oh, I've only got this Nintendo Switch, I can't play this game with you. Oh, you can just with cross-platform, and I felt again, I said that definitely is a good thing for gaming. It always does my head when you got multiplayer games. It's like, oh, there's no cross-platform. You're like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
for example, I've got one Xbox between obviously myself and Hayden.
Yeah.
Like when you got obviously the idea then of the cross-platforming, one can jump on PC, one can jump on Xbox, or in our case now PC and PC. But when it's just like one console between two of you, you're fucked. So it definitely is one good thing that a lot of game developers are doing a lot more now, is the idea of cross-platforming. But this one, I think its biggest positive is going to be the fact that it's one copy and you can play it with fucking everyone. And I think that's definitely what's helped
It's been that
sell.
way since A Way Out, hasn't it?
Yes, A Way Out had a friend pass. This company, obviously Hazel Light Studios, I think it is. I've always fucking forget names. If I got that wrong, I apologise. It's Hazel something, I know that. But obviously, that's something that obviously they strive to do. Because obviously, for the fact they're making a co-op game, it obviously you don't want to be spending like what 40, 50 quid. Because that's how much games are these days. I know this one was, I think, was about 40, which was a pretty reasonable price. I will fucking add that. Obviously, when you're paying that much for a game that you can only play with someone else, you could look at it and go, well, I'm not going to pay 40 quid for a game that I have to wait for someone else to play.
Yeah.
Whereas in this case, yes, you are kind of doing that, but at the same time, you can also go, okay, I can just play with someone else, though. Like, I have you available, but if I didn't have you available, there's Connor, there's Hayden. One of us, obviously Hayden can literally be on a PC, which I'm obviously using now for this, and I can go downstairs on my PC, or if I brought it on Xbox doesn't really fucking matter. Same with Connor. It works the same way, and I feel like that's something that this studio does a lot, obviously, and it's the one thing I absolutely love about them. Not just the fact that they're making these incredible fucking games, which they are. They're making such good games with an incredible story, incredible visuals. But
the graphics has got a lot better since.
Like A Way Out was decent graphics, like, but as they've gone along, the graphics
Which is
and
improved and improved.
the story they're crafting is just
Yeah.
phenomenal. Like I say, we both love It Takes Two. We both pointed
Mhm.
out multiple times the fun we had when playing that, because it was a blast back in fucking
Oh,
2021 when that
absolutely.
came out. Like, yeah, we had issues with like the servers at the times. I think it was like,
Yeah.
especially going for the EA server, which, to be fair, we didn't really
It's
encounter that
improved.
level of issues this time.
No,
But then
I've not
again,
encountered any.
well, apart from when we tried to run it on your PC in the first place, and your PC
Yeah.
went, yeah,
No.
nope, bang. But other than that issue, we corrected it, and
Yeah.
as I say, when we played It Takes Two, I remember we had like issues where it would just boot us from the game. But then again, wasn't we
Mm.
playing it through like Origins back then? Like, because it being
Yeah.
EA, it was through fucking that shitty ass Origins app, which is just, ugh.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that's not a thing for this. But yeah, so obviously we had obviously a few minor issues, but overall it was still playable, and we had so much
Mhm.
fun with it. I mean, I know you played the dad character, I was the mom character. I thought I drew the short straw, but I was like, actually, this character's like pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
And I would say we had a lot of fun with it. We carried so many
Mhm.
fun levels to it. It
I
was just,
think in this one, in Split Fiction, I think it might be just me being biased, but I was saying to you, like, I think I got the best, like, character,
yes. I say,
even though I prefer
the personality at least of
Zoe's
Zoe.
personality and like the fiction part compared to sci-fi.
But
But I think
Mio got
Neo
the
got the
some of the better
best.
choices of weapons. I mean, we point out in the light level where my character
Yeah,
had like this fish where you obviously shoot at a
all you do is
wall
grab.
and you essentially just grab stuff and drag it towards you. Whereas yours, at first I was like, okay, yours is kind of shit as well, because all it did
Yeah,
was create like a light platform. But as you got
platform.
along, it created like a fucking blade, and it was like, what the fuck? Why have you got so many
Yeah,
cool?
it
And
created like
then
a chainsaw kind of thing. Then like balls that you can jump on.
obviously the
Then
level
like
before that, obviously the prison level in your character's
yeah,
mind. Obviously my character got the gravity ball, which that was it, and then
yeah,
yours had like this drone. Like, what
and
gets
then it
me
can turn into
is
a boat.
a boat, fucking as a drone,
Spiders.
boat, spiders, a ball. Like,
Yeah,
I understand that level, you being the one that has the more stuff there because it's your level,
yeah,
but I feel like when it's my level, it should be the opposite. It should be me having the
yeah.
better choices. But I got a fish that just went blop blop, and you got a flying bird that went. I'm just like,
And then also was the only thing that could like damage the ghosts.
yes, exactly. Because I mean, I tried to, and it just did fucking nothing.
Yeah,
Like I say, I understand like in like your level, like, you're having the better powers.
yeah,
That to me makes sense because it's your level. But I feel like my levels at times I got shafted. I mean, you got
hmm
in like for example the fantasy level, you got a fucking big ape, and then
yeah.
a fucking
Orion wannabe
vapor,
otter.
yeah, vapor on top of otter. Whereas I got a Groot and like a fairy. And don't get
Fairy.
me wrong, I like the Groot one. That was pretty sick.
Mhm.
But I got a fairy. All I can think of with that is there's a TV show called House of Falls that me and Hayden absolutely love.
Hmm.
And there's a scene where this guy's trying to pretend to be his date, but he doesn't shave, so
Yeah,
he's still got his beard, and that's the only thing the guy gets drawn to. And every time he's speaking to him, he's like, but she's got a beard, and he's like, yeah, but she's got like a really good personality, but she's got a beard. That's all I can think of. Is like, but I'm a fairy. That's all I can think of in that situation there. But is it even like, see, to be fair, I don't mind the whip one when I got the whip and you got the blade. I
Hmm.
didn't mind that. That was fine. But say some of the later levels were a bit shafted.
Yeah, like even with the dragon one.
You got the flying one, I got a bowling ball.
Yeah,
I think the only
and
time we
then
were
like
even was the fucking centipede mission. That's because they both had the same ability, grab with their fucking their like pincers.
yeah,
That was the only one where it was like, okay, we're pretty even now. Like every
I
other
think
one, it was more one-sided.
yeah. And the one thing that I really wanted to see was a magic one, like with proper full on magic, like what you see at the very beginning.
I think the closest we got to that was that fucking the cat bit. Do you
Yeah,
remember? I think that was the closest we got to magic, because there's that points where I blasted you and like you turned into like
Yeah.
different object. That was the
But,
closest we got to like some sort of proper magic.
but that's what I was hoping to get. Like we got it in It Takes Two at one point. Remember?
Yes, when it was the D&D style level when you
Yeah.
was the so I was the knight, you were the sorcerer.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember. That was a pretty cool.
And
That was a like really cool design level.
mm, and I was expecting something like that in here.
But I agree, we didn't get that. We got these like shapeshifting, we got
No.
the dragons, and
Yeah.
that was it really.
And then when it came to the sci-fi, like a lot of it was pretty much the same map, but just a different
Like section
story.
sort of. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think is
that's my only gripe with the game so far.
I think what this game's got going for it though is because obviously they looked at it. Obviously, if you look at both It Takes Two and Split Fiction, they
Mm.
looked at it and was like, well, the one big thing is its story. That's
Yeah,
its massive thing. We're telling this big ass story. Obviously, It Takes Two, the idea of this obviously daughters watching their parents fight, gets to
hmm
the point of they're about to divorce, so she essentially makes a wish and puts them through
hmm
therapy, but in like the weirdest way possible and
yeah,
probably the best way possible.
yeah. With Connor the Duck.
And it's the whole point of that game then is them going through these levels trying to become normal again before
Mm.
eventually having to try and essentially go through this therapy stage to get to being normal.
Yeah,
Whereas Split Fiction, obviously the idea is you're submitting ideas for stories to this company. You both get drawn in because you end up in the same fucking like
yeah.
sphere. Obviously outside in reality they're trying to get you out, but at the same time, obviously, this guy's kind of very slowly
Kind of
going
wanna
into the
steal your
villainous,
brain.
and he's like, "Okay, I don't care. Like, if anything happens to these, all I
Yeah,
care about is this machine we've got. It's the best thing ever. They die, they die." He literally says that to them. Like, if
yeah.
they fry, they fry. I don't give a shit about them.
Mm.
So obviously, he's doing that. What in the obviously simulation, they're going through these levels trying to find these glitches to try and get themselves out, while also then dealing with him meddling from the
Yeah.
outside before actually fully meddling by becoming one with this simulation. So obviously the whole story there
Spoilers,
is
by the way.
just, huh?
Spoilers, by the way.
Slight spoilers, but I mean, it's the idea of what you're going to get anyway. If you watch any sort of trailers and that, you're probably going to guess that you're going through these
Yeah.
simulation levels, and this guy's clearly the big bad guy. It's just how do you get to that point? But obviously, the one thing with It Takes Two is its mini game levels. Well,
Yeah.
it wasn't levels. It was more just you went to the side. Here's a mini game
It was a
like
minigame.
chess. Here's fucking can't. It's been that long since I played It Takes Two.
Chess, like a donkey ride, was it?
Yes. There's so many different little mini games within this game.
Which are actually like little games.
It's
like
a way to
little
obviously, yeah, it's a way to obviously extend the game even further than it already is with the story.
Yeah.
Which that is a good thing, especially with the idea of there's two of you. You gotta kind of work together. It makes sense that there'll be times where, especially that one, it was the idea of you're against each other.
Yeah.
It was always it even had like a little tally of how many wins
Yeah.
each side got. Because I remember, I think I might have beat you on the mini games in that one, like overall.
did.
I know you beat me on deaths, I will say that. But I didn't count any of the deaths in this one. I don't know who won on deaths this time.
I don't know. I think after like the laggy stuff at the beginning.
when we switched it over entirely to new consoles, yeah.
think-
We kind of the only times we died really was when we made like a stupid mistake,
Yeah.
or during the boss fights when it kind of got
Yeah,
very
I think-
intense.
I think I still would have won on the deaths again.
Possibly. There's many times when you just like kind of walked off the edge without realizing.
Yeah.
Like for example, one of the last one's video when it was like stairways, and you're like, oh, maybe I could just jump straight down and like bypass the entire stairs, and you just went bang, dead.
Honestly, that's so stupid because you technically should be able to.
Yeah.
It's just not stopping you.
But yeah,
apart from
obviously,
Storm.
with It Takes Two, it was the idea of mini games to
Mhm.
pad out this game already, and it was obviously more at times like kiddie type games because it being a very
Yeah.
kids like game. Whereas this one, it's like okay, we kind of wanted that exact same thing again, but how do we do this? Well, we're in simulation of obviously of stories. What if you have these main stories that you have obviously? So you have your main sci-fi one, have your main fantasy, main sci-fi fantasy. What if we added like little levels to them where you got to experience other sci-fi and fantasy levels that these characters have created, And I really like that idea because there are some generally
It
really
was really
good
good.
little side stories. I mean, the
Like,
last one we did was probably the weakest. I think we both agreed.
yeah,
The giant one, which is just traversing. It was basically just a hiking level. Like I feel like it was a nice chill one to end on, but it was just at the same
yeah.
time. It's
But I
like
mean, it's
there's not
not the
much.
pig.
There's not much there. But I mean, some of the other levels. I mean, the pig one is just like crazy. The dentist one is just insane.
Yeah,
Fucking. There's some obviously really fun like ones where you kind of go race each other.
there's yeah, and then there was like some Dune ones.
Yeah, there's obviously the Doom one, but instead of the worms, it was sharks.
Yeah,
And so there's some really good, fun side stories. And I say I like the how they've done it this time because I like with the It Takes Two. It's just a case of because you're in these levels, it's right there. This little game to the side because you've
yeah,
shrunken down. That is cool. That makes sense. And it's like, okay, how can you adapt that same idea into this game that's more sci-fi
yeah,
and fantasy? How can you do that with this? What if there's little glitches in this simulation? And if you complete these levels, you can save these side stories from being sucked into this machine. I really like that idea. And I say there's some generally really fun side stories. I say the pig one is probably
yeah,
generally one of the best ones because it's
yeah.
just it starts off.
It was
Then again,
different.
the pig one and the dentist one because they start off so calm,
Yeah,
so mellow, and then they just kind of go dark. Obviously, the pig one goes
because
just fucked up, and then you
yeah,
got the dentist one which goes very dark and very like fucking
yeah,
jump, 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 jump. Whereas the pig one, it's more the case of it's just that one bit at the end where it goes a bit dark. Like
mm,
when you go from pigs to sausages and you go from sausage to fucking food. I mean, we made that little. I put that little short out of us like fucking around as the sausages, obviously putting the
yeah,
mustard and ketchup, because going, yeah, like being really stupid, and somehow that got a ridiculous amount of fucking views. But I say I really liked.
the OST grows, man.
I say I really liked how they handled the mini games
Yeah,
in this, because it just works really well as it's like little chill, like it's to the side, and say
yeah,
most 9 times out of 10, it'll tell you it's there. Like, oh,
mm,
there's another side story, and that at that point you kind of look around then to find it.
it's like,
I said the
what?
only one we didn't really was the one we did last, the one which we both agreed was the weakest. That's the only one where it was like right behind us, but it didn't tell us, and it's
Yeah,
just us turning around. Obviously, when we knew it was there, oh, there it is. But I say I
yeah,
do like the fact that it's something I did with obviously It Takes Two as well, where you can obviously go back to specific points in the game. But I swear in It Takes Two you couldn't go back to the mini games. You could just go back to the overall level.
yeah. I think it was that.
I can't
It's
remember.
like
It's been a while, but I
that's
know
what
with
they did.
this one you can go back to the specific chapter where it's in,
Yeah,
and you just go after it.
and it actually tells you where they are,
And I'm
pretty
pretty certain
much.
you can replay the side stories. But again,
Yeah,
it kind of makes sense that you'd be able to replay the side stories rather than the mini games, because the mini
mm,
games are just mini games, whereas this are general stories within this story. So it kind of makes sense
yeah,
that you'd be able to go back and replay said
hmm,
story again. So I can kind of understand why you are able to get back to them this time around.
yeah.
But
Sorry.
it's fine. Let's say the side stories definitely enhance this game even more. I say I love the story in this. It's a really fun story of jumping between these two levels until you get to this big boss fight, which then
Yeah,
merges these levels into this really like drug induced. I've been sniffing way too much cocaine.
yeah,
Fucking like experience where it's like you're in your level, I'm in my level, but we can sort of cross and see stuff that
yeah.
no one else can see.
Streams.
It's like fucking weird, like the fact that like in my level, oh, I can't access this cannon because
Yeah,
there's spikes on it, but in your level the cannon's there. In my
yeah.
level there's these water buckets
Fish.
going across in your, I think they're pufferfish specifically.
I don't know because
As
in my
it
world,
looked like
I couldn't
spikes on
see
them, so
them.
I think they're more pufferfish, obviously. But in your world, they're not there. So I've
Yeah,
got to
nothing.
physically go around to show you my perspective for you to shoot. It's the one time where screen sniping works. Because
Yeah.
you know, you're playing co-op games back in the day, like fucking when we used to play like Halo Reach and stuff like that,
Ice cream.
where you're obviously if you're playing on the same screen and you're like, having this fun moment where you're
Yeah,
like in Forge mode where you're building these bases and you're kind of having like intense battles, but you're kind of like hiding behind a wall, and they look at the screen and
Yeah.
go, okay, I know where the fucking hell, they're right behind this fucking wall.
Yeah.
Or like playing Call of Duty back in the day, and obviously we used to play split screen on that.
Yeah.
Like moments like that when you look at it and go, okay, I can just look at your screen and cheat, basically, just to enhance my game here. Whereas this, especially these last levels, you kind of
encouraged.
it's encouraged. You need to do it because if you don't, you're fucked.
Yeah.
So I do like how they did the last level, but at the same time, it's one of those ones where
Yeah.
it's just like, well, my head is getting like a headache at this. But
Mm.
it was one of those ones where it's kind of worth it because it was kind of like a weird level, which kind
Yeah.
of sums up the game at times, being having these weird moments. And obviously, you have moments in the final level where like you're controlling like a video game screen, turning it.
Yeah.
I'm on like a
Yeah.
CCTV type of camera, fucking stamping down. Like it's some weird fucking moments. But
It really took out like very, very out of the box
yeah,
thinking with some
it's
of the
like okay, how do we have this final battle? Because we know I feel like we from the start we knew the final battle is always going to be you versus
oh
this
yeah
guy. It's just like how are you going to do this? Because are we just going to come into the real world and have like a fighting moment with this guy and
yeah
just like beat him up? But it's like okay, no, how can we like merge him into the simulation while also allowing you to go through the sci-fi and the fantasy levels combined? And I feel
yeah
like they did a really good job of it. And there's that one level which obviously in that final bit, which is kind of like fucking crazy, where it's obviously your zoomed out perspective, looking down. You got like lily pads, and fucking the piranhas are spawning. The fucking whole world's spinning around, and you kind of got to outrun this. I mean, it got to the point where
Mm.
you kept getting spawn killed.
yeah. I
Every
died in it. And
every time it
kept killing.
respawned you, it spawned you on the point where there's like piranhas, or it was the
Yeah,
rotating fucking cylinder blade.
water
Like,
cars, and it just didn't put me on a car.
yeah, like it's stuff like that. It's like really out of the box thinking, and it's good when you have those out of the box moments
Yeah,
because you don't want it to be this bland like finale. You want it to be
yeah,
something like that's gonna blow your mind, and like this does. Like yeah, it hurts your mind, but it blows your mind at the same time. But I say I generally like a lot of the levels for this game. I say the sci-fi levels,
yeah.
I say they're at times very similar.
Mm.
Obviously, all that really changes is the weaponry. And to fair,
Yeah,
it's fair. You could always argue the same with the fancy. It's always the same. It just changes a few things.
yeah.
But the
I
fancy levels
guess.
definitely probably had the better choices
Abilities.
of abilities. So yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
I say the transformations. I mean, come on, the Sailor Moon transformation. Remember that?
Yeah, and then mine's just like,
It's just been just like, oh, look at this, and you're just like, yep. But yeah, so I'd say that whole idea of being able to shapeshift was fucking pretty cool.
yeah,
And then the whole dragon sequence, the one we were after the most, dragon part.
yeah.
Um,
And
so
it was like you start it and you're like, oh, nothing.
I like the level for the fact it's the
Yeah,
evolution
it
of the
was like
dragon
slowly.
from an egg to a baby dragon to a medium dragon to
Yeah,
a big fucking dragon versus a bigger fucking
dragon.
dragon. It's just like it's like the Family Guy Jaws and Bigger Jaws one, and it's like the
Yeah,
bigger the Jaws, and it's like, what's that? It's Bigger Jaws. Oh no, we've got a common enemy. It's like that for the fact that you got big dragons, but you got this massive
yeah,
dragon called Monolith, I think his name was off the top of my head.
yeah,
So you got this, you got have to try and figure out how to destroy him, and as I say, each level has their unique moments and has really cool
Hmm.
sequences that help it stand out. And that's why I absolutely love this game because Split Fiction is just, I say, apart from the fact that at times it does feel very one-sided in favor of one
yeah,
character. Apart from that, it feels like an absolute perfect game.
yeah.
Um,
It's very fun.
I say if you like It Takes Two, then you'll like Split
You're like,
Fiction. And I feel like if you
yeah,
like the idea of storytelling, if you like the idea of
it's
fantasy and
great.
sci-fi, it's definitely up your alley because there's a lot of really fun moments you can have in these levels.
Yeah,
Um, there's a lot of exploring to do to try and find these side
yeah,
stories, and as I said, it's all surrounded by this really beautiful story that has heartache in it.
mm, Yeah,
because that's what
a lot.
that's what these they like doing. I say A Way Out. The heartache was mainly who lives and who dies at the end.
Yeah,
So, do you get to go off and see your wife and child, or do I get off to go and see my wife and child? It's like one of those moments where it's
mm,
like it's heartache for one, but not for the other. Obviously, It Takes Two. The heartache was mainly just them kind of seeing their daughter going through this experience of
fine.
witnessing her parents split away.
Yeah,
So that was the main heartache with that. It wasn't really much heartache in that one. It's more the
yeah.
daughter was the one that was getting the most shafted, really, whereas the parents were
I
getting
mean,
obviously.
the elephant got shafted.
Oh yeah, the elephant that we ripped apart. It was like,
Yeah,
you know, I'm still getting PTSD nightmares right now from that. Um, whereas this, both characters have their darkness. So
yeah.
you've got
You
obviously,
don't see it at the beginning.
yeah, it's one of those things where both kind of keep it to themselves, and they kind of hint at it consistently, but they
Yeah,
never actually explain it too much. But when you get deeper into the game, especially when you get to
mm,
the subconsciouses, you start getting
yeah.
their stories told. So obviously Mio's story of uh, struggling with her dad, Zoe's
With
story
me,
of
we spent
struggling with
quite a bit
her,
into the game.
yeah, and Zoe's story of struggling with what happened to her sister years ago, and
With Zoe, I didn't expect her to have like with her sister. I would have expected her sister to just like, yeah,
it's happened, and she was like a
yeah,
witness to it, not just she was kind of
yeah,
literally there. Yeah, so it's one of those ones where they're both full of darkness and heartache, but in the end, it's about them coming together as a duo
and actually getting
and
through it.
trying to find a way to get through. Like It Takes Two, it was about them trying to get through it for the sake of
Yeah,
their daughter, whereas this is them trying to get through it for the sake of themselves. Really, they're trying to
mm,
save themselves from this guy that's literally trying to murder them
yeah,
and acting like kind of acting like he's gonna get away with it. And just like, dude, no. The police
mm,
have clearly been informed. There's security banging on your door. As soon as you're done here, if you kill them,
yeah,
you're
done.
in fucking
Yeah, done.
handcuffs. You're fucking out of here. So, as I say, it's one of those ones where they've both got heartache, but they've both got to unite to get through this
Yeah,
heartache. And it
actually help each other
yeah,
out.
it's like there's darkness within these stories, but it's such a beautiful story being
Yeah,
told to get them through this. Like it was when you actually
mm,
get to their moments where it's like fully revealed, like especially Zoe's, it's so heartbreaking to watch,
yeah,
and you're just like, Jesus, this is really sad. And then you obviously get more of a heartbreak at the end, which I'm not going to get into fully because that's the big spoiler.
yeah.
Because this is like
I
spoiler-ish, but not spoiler.
I do feel more in like I've got more in common with Mio's backstory than with Zoe's.
Oh, absolutely. One's literally like about someone dying in front of them in a
Yeah,
situation which probably could have been avoided, and one's a situation which couldn't have been avoided.
I mean,
Uh,
technically I've got a bit of a I've got a link with both of them. Then I've watched someone die in front of me, and it was the same person that links with Mio's.
oh, okay. So yeah, I get what you're saying
Yeah,
there. I'm in
but, like,
the Mio
yeah,
position, but not fully. Like I haven't reached
yeah,
the death part of her situation.
yeah.
Fingers crossed I don't. Um,
Better not.
but still, obviously, it's a. I feel like Zoe's probably got the more heartbreak. I feel like Mio's got the
Yeah,
heartbreak in the sense of she's growing up dealing with a situation, whereas
yeah.
Zoe's got the heartbreak of it's happened when she was younger and she's had to live
Mm,
with that all this
it's
time.
trauma.
It's literally her whole inner story is about
Yeah.
heartbreak and the fact that she's got to repair her heart, which is constantly causing pain, and that is just fucking truly like sad
Mm,
and heartbreaking, literally. Um, but still, I say it's two dark stories masked in a very fun adventure, and
yeah.
that's kind of like what you want. Sometimes you want these characters that you can have sympathy for, like especially early on with Mio's character. I mean, you pointed out when we went back to her side story, like down we're at like the Mio part of the game where she's like very like you don't want to be around her.
Sheltered.
But obviously, when you get
Sheltered.
through, as you're going through the story and you're understanding why she's like it, you kind of
Yeah.
feel for her. Um, And you can also kind of feel for Zoe in the sense, obviously, she's creating these fantasy worlds to escape reality.
And like kind of relive her time with her sister.
Both really are creating these worlds to escape reality.
Yeah.
And
With
that's,
Mio, well, in my take of it, it's Mio is writing her frustration in
yes,
her book and stories, whereas Zoe
he's trying to find
is
ways to write her
writing
sister.
and actually exploring with her sister and everything.
Yeah, she's trying to write, what if we grew up together? What if we could do
Yeah,
this together? Where you say Mio's is more about her writing the frustration of everything
because
going on around her.
because there was like parking tickets and everything, then dentist and stuff
And
like
like
that.
the world exploding, the sun exploding, shit like
Yeah,
that, like everything exploding around her. Whereas if you look at,
mhm.
say, Zoe's, it was more just like fun surfing,
Teamwork.
fun like snowboarding, fun
Yeah,
obviously hiking, like stuff that you could do with someone,
mm,
i.e., you could do with a sibling. And
yeah,
I agree with what you're saying there, and I absolutely love the way they did that.
hmm,
It just sums up how great of a story this really is. There's so many
yeah,
layers to this story. So It Takes Two had its layers of, obviously it's a family trying to
yeah,
be together, whereas this has so many layers of heartache, trauma, uh, friendship forming. Like there's so much within this game that I don't know which I prefer. It Takes Two or Split Fiction. I think they're both for me very level at the moment.
yeah. I mean, to be honest, I can't really remember. It Takes Two, so
Obviously, I played a bit of it over
I'm
Christmas again. Like I didn't get too far into it, but obviously I got like a reasonable distance into it. But I say at the moment I'm very level on them. They both have their moments, but I feel like we had a lot more fun with Split It Takes Two because the less of the, god damn, this is like
yeah,
fucking like tugging the heartstrings. So I feel like we've probably had a bit more fun with It Takes Two, but Split Fiction I feel like
yeah,
has more to
it,
offer
yeah.
with its side
They're both
stories.
they're both equal in their own
Yeah,
right.
they both have pros, they both have cons, but
Yeah,
they're both pretty much perfect games that if you've not played
yeah.
either of them, pick it up,
Play it.
play it. I think It Takes Two is on Xbox Game Pass. There,
Yeah,
you can play it on there. And so Split Fiction's about 40 quid, but you buy it.
mm.
If you've got a bunch of friends, you can fucking play with them one by one. I mean, I'll
And
probably
plus
sit down
it's
at some point with Hayden to play this.
yeah. I was gonna say it's like it's really good to play with like a partner or someone that you just wanna.
Especially, I say especially It Takes Two, because that being like the
Yeah,
relationship one, that's like definitely one. Whereas this one, it's like two friends. I feel like this one
yeah,
works for two friends. It Takes Two work for more like a
yeah.
partner. Whereas obviously it was me and you playing It Takes Two. Whereas this one makes more sense because it's two friends. But
Yeah.
as I say, if you haven't played either of them, it's somewhat worth picking up and playing with a friend or, I say, a partner. I mean,
It's not.
I've seen plenty of like videos of like
Yeah.
partners playing this one specifically.
Mhm. It's not a waste of a game.
Mm.
Like I've got so many games that I've got and I've never touched them.
Or you put
Think,
like very minimum
no,
hours into.
yeah, no offense, mainly because of you saying, "Oh, let's play this game," and then we just play it like once or
Once,
never.
once or twice, and then we never play it again.
Like, what was it? Project Zomboid. I
Oh,
got
that
that.
was one fucking fat bitch made us buy.
Yeah, I got that.
I think I probably
And
put
then
more hours into it than you did. But to be
I've never
fair,
touched it
at the
because
time,
you all stopped playing it.
thing is, at the time, the idea of how you made a server in the game was just fucking shit. But
Yeah,
I think they fixed it now, so technically speaking, we could go back to it because there's been a lot of updates to it. Technically, there's been a lot of updates in that game there that make it
yeah.
like decent enough to actually go back to.
Hmm.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. As I say, I mean, last year I picked up Dragon's Dogma 2. I think it was last year or like early this
Hmm.
year. I can't remember. And I literally probably played like 2 hours of it, if that. I just haven't got around
It's
to playing more of it.
it's like what my partner was saying. Like I've bought this Switch and I've not touched it. The only
Same.
time I've touched it was yesterday, pretty much the day I had it, and when I've been playing with you.
So I played a bit of Mario Kart, bit of
Mm.
Pokemon here and there. But that's it. I haven't really touched it that much.
Yeah,
But I get what you're saying. It's one of those things where this game is probably one of the ones that will engulf you. will draw you in. I mean, it took us probably about a month to play it, just over maybe, but that's because trying to work around our schedules, getting ourselves sat down. I mean, I was ill for one weekend, so it never happened. So it's
You
always
could probably,
you could probably back. I
if
mean,
you played it like all day, it would probably take like 3 days.
you could probably get it done over
Probably 4 days.
a weekend, like a Saturday,
Yeah,
Sunday, Monday. You could probably bash that over a weekend.
or Saturday and Sunday, because like sometimes we've had to stop recording because of early
Let's say,
interruptions.
I mean, if you fucking say started like early on a Saturday morning, played till a bit later on a Saturday night, you could probably get it done within 2 days.
Yeah,
I
like
say it took us just under 16 hours.
Yeah,
Just under 16 hours it took us to play it. But obviously, that was spread out over literally like a month or two.
yeah. I
But
think it's like been like five recording sessions, maybe six.
yeah, 5 or 6 recording sessions of like 2-3 hours of gameplay. But say
Yeah,
you do that in like back to back without the stoppages, without recording, because you haven't got a setup or anything. You just literally plug your console in or your PC, you're done. And so you can probably get it done literally in a weekend.
yeah,
And it'd be a fun little like chill weekend session on it.
yeah.
I say it's been an experience in a positive way.
Yeah, it's a good experience. Like I said, it's a good game, and it deserved like it won in the rewards.
It hasn't won any awards yet.
Oh
There's
well,
been no awards yet for this game. It's been like main things it's won is just how many people have bought the game
yeah.
and the reviews it's had, which have been ridiculously high.
Okay, well, it's going to get good rewards.
And so hopefully it gets some awards like It Takes Two did. But obviously the only difference is there are some big games still coming out.
I was going to say they kind of released it a bit early on in the year.
That can be then It Takes Two was released like the March time of the year. It was an early thing. But what I'm saying is It Takes Two came out in the year where the only real competition probably was Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah,
Off the top of my head. 2021. Ratchet and Clank and maybe Resident Evil Village.
yeah,
Whereas this is coming out and you still got Ghost of Yotai, which is obviously the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima.
yeah, but they're not really multiplayers.
I feel like this is going to probably win it'll be between this and probably Mario for like multiplayer.
Yeah,
For Mario Kart, it'd be between these two. I feel like this probably deserves it more than Mario Kart, because Mario Kart's just Mario Kart. It's the same fucking every time. They tweak a few things here and there. Yeah, you got free roaming this time, but this is a fucking story-based game, so I feel like this should take it. But I feel like in terms of being a game of the year, it's got a bit more stiff competition this year. Doom, Death Stranding, Ghost of Yotai, and there's a couple of other things. The only thing obviously it hasn't got to worry about is GTA, because that's not till next year now. Whereas that probably would have, if that came out this year and was like a really it was good when it came out, I feel like that was just clean sweep the awards. But let's say it definitely deserves some, specifically the multiplayer and co-op awards. It definitely deserves that, and I feel like if the stories of these other games aren't outstanding, I feel like this definitely should be in a shout for the story. I feel like it should be in a shout to fair for most awards. But it should be at least guaranteed co-op / multiplayer. Because it's outstanding. And it's no surprise, because, especially after It Takes Two, it's no surprise that it's outstanding. And I, honest to God, can't wait to see what they cook up next.
Yeah.
Because
I can't wait to see the movie.
Yes. I'm guessing Sydney Sweeney is going to play the Zoe character. I can't see her playing Mio, because that means they need to race swap her. Which they can't do.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing she'll play Zoe and just either get rid of the English accents or try and put on an English. I don't know if she can do an English accent or not. Main thing people are going to be drawn to is a cleavage.
But the thing is, though, is it going to be live action or is it going to be animated?
Live action, I think.
Oh, okay.
I love how we're going to get this before we even get the It Takes Two movie, which has been in development for fucking years. I think that's been in development like since that game came out, or around the awards times for that game. So I love how we're probably going to get Split Fiction before we get that as a movie. But surely we should have got that first, because it's been it's been a while. And that would have been cool, because they could have probably done some stuff with either animation or stop frame specifically. But still, I'm interested to see where they go with the game. the movie,
Yeah.
adaptation of the game. What they take out, what they keep. I feel like that's one thing you're always interested to see with games, especially ones like this
Yeah.
where it's straight up a story. You always want to see how they develop it for an actual adaptation. I mean, for example, Until Dawn, which came out earlier this year, obviously an adaptation of the game Until Dawn, which itself is basically a fucking movie, an interactive movie. The way they went with this one was they haven't just copied what they've done there. It's the game has happened or is going to happen. This is like something that's simultaneously happening or happening before or after. Like, it's not an adaptation, it's an addition. Essentially, you can kind of argue it's DLC, but as a movie format. So the question is, obviously, I'm guessing they're just probably going to straight up probably adapt this. But I say it's what are they going to keep and what they're going to get rid of. I hope they keep the transformation scenes because that was funny. And I hope they keep the dragon stuff at least because it's the dragon shit. Yeah. Come on, it's the fancy stuff.
I think what they would do is probably like blend them into each other. Maybe.
I feel like the only thing they'll probably get rid of is the side stories. They might have one at least. Or two, just to show obviously the idea of that. But I feel like they'll probably get rid of most. And they'll mainly focus on the actual story itself. And to be fair, if you cut out like half the story, obviously there's like the traversing the environment, you probably can cram this like 16-hour game into like a 2-hour movie. You probably can if you cut out the multiple deaths. I feel like they're gonna have at least like one death just to show, oh, you can respawn. I feel like they've got to at least do that once. But I say if you cut out a lot of the side stories, you cut out most of traverse, and you probably can like condense this into like a single fucking movie. That you mainly need to focus on then is just the story and this character development, because obviously this game is full of character development from when we first meet the two protagonists to when we leave them off. There's so much development from that point. So that's the main thing the adaptation needs to get right, at least, is their character development.
Yeah.
So
if they don't, then it's going to be a flop.
Yeah. So it's just a case of seeing when it comes out and who else they get involved in it. As I say, I feel like the guy who plays Homelander in The Boys could play the villain, because he kind of, like, at times the villain when he gets angry kind of reminds me of him. So I feel like that'd be like a good casting for him, Anthony Starwood. I know a lot of people want him to do another video game adaptation. A lot of people want him to do Resident Evil and play Wesker. Obviously the guy, obviously the main bad guy. A lot of people want him to play him. So we'll see. Let's say, what do you give this game out of 10 though?
It's so hard to just not go with 10 out of 10.
Well, that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with 10 out of 10.
Fuck it, 10 out of 10.
Let's say it's got a great story, great side stories, great characters, great character development, emotional segments. I mean, there's moments where you can just sit on a bench and have this little talk. And we just kept doing it just for the jokes of, fucking hell, we have that really long run, just let's have a little sit down, son. Which is pretty us in real life, really. We've done a bit of work, let's have a little sit down. So there's really great like emotional moments, really great graphics, really great world designs, great gameplay, some really good music in the background. Obviously, a villain you want to hate, which is what you kind of want for a game as a villain. You always want it to make sure it's a villain that you want to hate. And this game, every time I saw this guy, I wanted to punch him in the face. And I say characters that over time you grow with and you love even more. Because say from the start you didn't really like Mio because of her attitude, but as the game got on, you were a bit more. You were fine with her. She wasn't as annoying.
She wasn't rude. She wasn't a bitch.
Yeah, basically. So I say this game has everything you'd want from this. Plus, the co-op aspect, the teamwork, the fact that only one person needs the game to actually work it is always going to be an added bonus. As I say, I'm so looking forward to see what they develop next.
I kind of want to change my score.
To what?
20 out of 10.
You're going to do a Hayden here?
No, if I was doing a Hayden, I would have went like
100. Yeah, she always does that fucking stupid ass 100 out of 10, which kind of fucked us up when we did the Hayden show, because when it came to the point of, oh, I really hate this, 10 out of 10. So when it came to those situations, she had to give it like a 1 out of 10. because obviously she couldn't really go 10 out of 10 because it makes it look like she's doing like a really good score, but in reality, it's the worst possible score she could have give. She absolutely fucked us up with that show. Oh, fuck me.
Yeah, it is a 10 out of 10 game, and like I said, it's a game that you won't regret buying.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. I mean, I said to you, I couldn't buy it when it first came out because I think at the time it first came out, there was another game I was playing.
Few games that you wanted to buy. I think it was like Assassin's Creed, and that was
yes, Assassin's Creed came out like a week before I think this came out, or a week after, and I was like, I want to play this first, and I mean, I absolutely love that game as well. So I'm glad I brought that.
And I'd literally lost my job, so I couldn't buy it.
So it was the case of we'll get it at some point, and then next time I got paid, I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm buying it. I'm buying it. I'll install it. It's just then trying to figure out the time to play it, and I agree. It's a game that when you actually sit down and play it, put the time into it, it's one of those ones where you go, well, I was worth 40 quid. And
plus, you can replay it.
Yeah, like replayability factor. You can swap characters. You can get someone else to play it. Have them experience this. You just guide them through it, hold their hand just to get them through the levels. That's pretty much how I've been working at Takes Two of Head. And like, okay, you stand there. I'm going over here. Don't let go of that. Stuff like that.
I mean, to be honest, we've both done that in this as well.
Yeah, we both at times walked each other through these levels, despite the fact we've not known these levels.
For the point, I remember the last recording session where you got really pissed off at one point.
Yeah, the one when it for some reason my back button. I think, to be fair, it might be Hayden's controller because it's an old controller, so it wasn't actually registering the clicking of the back buttons, and it just wasn't fucking working. Because I was watching it back through the footage, and I was like, honest to God, when I cut it out, it was like 5 minutes worth of footage I cut out of just me doing the same thing over and over again. I was like, Jesus Christ, it took me 5 minutes? Fucking hell. I think it's more like a hardware issue, that one was, than anything.
Yeah.
I hope it was a hardware issue, not a game issue, because then that would be a negative on the game. But yeah, I say there's so many ways you can replay this game. There's so much here. I mean, there's some really good boss fights, and it's just an absolute perfect game that if you've not checked it out, do find someone to play it with because it's so worth your time.
Yeah.
And I mean, in terms of game wise, it's like the cheap end of gaming. Like £40, yeah, it's a lot, but when you look at games nowadays, 50, 60, 70, 80 quid, like 40 quid, like that's like fucking 10 years ago price wise for gaming at a maximum.
Yeah. And now it's 100 quid for one game.
And for the fact that it's technically speaking, you can consider it as 20 quid because you're paying 20 quid for your copy and 20 quid then for other people to play.
Yeah.
That for me, for the fact that it's a game that you can buy and other people then can jump on it without actually having to pay for it, I feel like 40 quid is absolute worth it as a price. But if you can't afford it for 40 quid, just wait for a sale, pick it up then. Yeah. You will not be disappointed with this game. It's so fun. And I just had a blast.
Yeah, it was really fun. I enjoyed it.
Your face said otherwise then. You're just like, it was really fun. I enjoyed it.
Sorry.
It was just one of those situations where obviously I knew you actually you did mean it, but it was just the facial reaction of you just sitting back just kind of made me go, did you really though? Did you really?
All right. I forget sometimes to actually use facial expressions.
Yes, it would have been worse if obviously you're having a really serious moment, it's really sad. And you're like, yeah, it's really sad. Yeah. Alex, other way, Alex, other way.
Yeah, just like the time where got really itchy ass.
That was probably my favourite moment. Really sad, somber moment. Oh, got an itchy ass. Oh, fucking great time. But yeah, I say, if you haven't played Split Fiction, pick it up at some point and check it out. It's worth it. Obviously, if you have played it, let us know your thoughts on it in the comments below. If you prefer this or It Takes Two, and what you're looking forward to from the movie adaptation. Or if you're not looking forward to it, just let us know if you're not looking forward to it. Obviously, you can check out the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Audible, YouTube specifically. Because obviously then you get to see our ugly mugs, where you can also then check out our other videos from other podcast episodes we've done together, to obviously the other gameplay videos, the entire Split Fiction playthrough if you've not seen that yet. It Takes Two, A Way Out, Raft, Supermarket Together. The list goes on of games we've done together. So you can check out Alex's channel, Arcadify. The link is always in the description below on YouTube.
You say that again, please.
Arcadify, is it?
Arcadify.
Arcadify.
Yeah, so it's arcade.
Not ad. Okay, Arcadify. So obviously you can check out his videos on there. I mean, he's got a lot of Pokemon stuff on there. A lot of Pokemon stuff on there.
I did Mario.
You did Mario, Kirby.
Yeah.
Did Mario, Kirby. Minecraft very briefly.
Yeah. Until the editor decided that they wasn't going to edit because I edited one video.
To be fair, eventually the co-companion probably would have dropped out anyway.
Yeah.
So either way, you were getting fucking middle fingered either way.
But you can see a lot of my previous streams that I've done on there because they all get uploaded.
Yes.
So like Genshin, other games.
And whenever you decide to eventually go back to streaming, you can have the new streams. So yeah, obviously I can't think of anything else. Thank you very much, Alex, for joining me for this episode.
No problem. Can I have my partner back now?
You mean the one that's down? Are you upstairs or downstairs?
Oh, I'm downstairs. Oh, I'm upstairs.
Is in your partner that's downstairs?
Yeah.
Yes,
but you've got to remember.
My partner's also downstairs as well.
You can't have her back.
Can we just stay upstairs?
Honestly, yeah, I think we should.
We're gonna stay upstairs. It's fine.
Honestly, yeah.
So yeah, thank you for joining me for this, and thank you once again for joining me for Split Fiction, Alex.
No problem.
And we'll figure out something else to jump into next. We'll either jump back into Supermarket Together, or we'll find something else to play.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll see.
It's either go back to just chilling, or we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We got time. We got plenty of time. So yeah, obviously, I hope you've enjoyed our review on Split Fiction, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye. If you like what you've seen, don't be afraid to throw us a little like and subscribe. That's always very appreciated over here. And well, I'll see you on the next video.